That's why we as a board have to take action, because it falls back on the board. And we can't sit there idly by and just overlook it.
Why don't I just suspend myself then until y'all settle all that?
Well, no. This is ridiculous.
Because, you know, if I'm going to be held responsible for something that I have a 98% assurity of that Lee Larco did and not me, then, you know, best thing for me to do is suspend myself from this office until y'all settle it or it gets settled, and then I'll come back.
The way I look at it, if you had nothing to do with it, what I will need from you is an affidavit.
Exactly.
But somebody made a change on it, and that's what has to be done with an affidavit from you stating that you, what mistake that was made, and you did not annotate anything on this. But it was brought to your attention. And in your affidavit, you have the name who brought it to your attention. And then that's the person who made the change.
Well, that's what we'll have to do. But in the meantime, though, until that gets settled, then I'm feeling like I should suspend myself from any activity with the elections office until that gets settled.
That's what we have to call them and find out the proper procedures on it.
What?
The proper procedures in his place, since he has nothing to do with this. Add that on there. Mr. Lockey did. Or one of his representatives. We have to find out what Kemp's position is. If it's just doing, my understanding is he was just doing an affidavit. He had no knowledge of the changes, but it was brought to his attention that, did they say he was going to make a change on it?
No.
Really, you know what, if you go any further, you're investigating. If you're going to change the story, you need to go to a store and do it.
That's right.
You can't investigate and be a part of it.
You cannot do it.
That's right. I want to see it.
So I'll suspend myself from any activity with the board until you get that straight.
What are you doing?
I'll be glad to give you an affidavit or a statement or whatever, but until that gets, settled, I don't want anybody thinking that, we're trying to do anything underhanded or above,
I understand that, Ken. I understand it. But as a board member, we have to look into it or have someone look into it.
I understand.
So that's where it has to go from there. It needs to be looked into, because I don't want that to fall back in my lap.
So, in essence, then, I need to suspend myself from any activity with the election officer until that gets settled.
What are you doing?
Excuse me, Your Honor. I was asked a question, and I'd like to respond to you because I am recording. What I'm doing is that I'm recording.
You know what? You should not be doing that without informing us ahead of time.
Okay, let me. You asked me a question. I want to answer, if you allow me. Will you let me answer?
Go ahead.
If this is indeed a public meeting, I have a right to do this. It has been proven over and over again in the courts. I go all to these cities, Lakeland, all around. This is what I do. So I'm just recording a public meeting. Now, if what is being discussed would have been determined by you, the chairman, or whoever, if it's possible you all to go in an executive session to discuss your matters, which I think maybe should have been there, then I know the procedures, and I definitely would not try to come in at executive. But if it's a public meeting, I have a right to record and to record.
He's right.
And so that's why I just answered your question, and that's my point.
All right. Well, we're going to call an executive session at this point. The rest of the meeting is adjourned.
That's not a big deal.
Okay.
We're in executive session. You have to state the reason for it. There's only 3 reasons you can go into it. You have to have a motion to go into it. You have to tell us the reason you're going into it. And then when we come back, you have to tell us what was discussed. So.
And there must be a hold on.
Executive session. Anything other than that is sunshine.
Okay, so go ahead. What else? I just am feeling very threatened at this point. I'm very just picked on and pulled apart for people who have worked so hard trying to put something good together.
Now, when it's fraud, you gotta realize this is a very serious matter. And if you went through the training for 1 year, subject of anything is unknown as to be questioned. And the stamps and document prove this happened.
There's already one situation where we have to go see the state board that we had no knowledge of.
That's right.
I don't want this to be the second.
I'll do what you have to do. Are there any other questions? Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Was that voted on?
We have to vote to close the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, moving and seconded.
Technically, you do. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I have
He did his resignation, you accepted
No,
it?
I'm not resigned, I'm just saying that if it's the board's wishes, that
I don't think you can suspend yourself, I think the board has to suspend you.
well, that'll be up to the board then.
Okay, I would like to adjourn the meeting.
Zurich, you have to do that, Zurich.
Somebody.
Zurich, she can't do it. You have to do it.
Address the calls.
I make a motion while this is up on the investigation that Mr. Collins will be suspended from the board until further notice on this investigation. And the outcome of this investigation.
Suspended from the board.
From the election office.
I'm not seconding. I'm not going to second that.
And that's right.
That's what I mean. That's it. It goes no place.
So it goes,
Right, it goes no place.
it goes no place.
But now you can join the meeting. You can offer permission to join the meeting.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn it.
Is that second?
The chairman has to say.
Yeah,
The chairman has to say.
It's on two. Okay, so,
The meeting is adjourned.
okay. I'm George Boston Rhines, and I have been ignored by the Brooks County School Board of Education. After sitting in and attending this Board of Elections meeting, I kind of understand now, I guess, why Brooks County elected officials seem to not want the general public to address the Brooks County School Board of Education. It is sad that in 2012, the operations of the Brooks County Board of Elections could be so dysfunctional in the eyes of the general public. It's really calls to question what is going on in Brooks County and in the city of Quitman among the so-called elected officials of high standards. It's just unimaginable. But be that as it may, I just want to say that I'm hoping that the citizens of Brooks County will take a strong stand for what is right. And I, along with others, realize that there are educators in the Brooks County school system who know what's going on, both black and white, and they want to see change. But because they understand that they have a job, family and children to provide for, they're living in fear. And the sad thing about it, there are a few people who sit among us, but who are not of us. We also understand there are white right people who wants to talk. And they do talk behind the closed doors, and they tell us things that we will never know. Be that as it may. But I cannot value my presence in being in Brooks County, July the 17th, to witness the real mindset of a group of people that, well, Governor Nathan Deal and others don't think that things are not going to change in Quitman and Brooks County. Change must come because somewhere I read, only truth will set us free. You cannot suppress truth, and regardless what a select few does, in the end, the voices of the people will be heard. And I will be able to address the Brooks County Board of Education, and all other citizens throughout Brooks County will feel welcome. Welcome. Welcome to this public meeting instead of feeling like feeling like they're coming to address the leaders of some foreign communist nation. You can feel the tension whenever you attend these meetings, and it should not be that way, especially when it comes to the education of our children and our right to vote, which many black and white people suffered, bled, and died to acquire for all Americans, and especially women. Yeah, white women. We hit the streets and they hit the voting booths, and even in getting contracts, blacks, I'm talking about under hood and urban development, blacks help them. And we want to thank the continuous support that we get from even whites who cannot speak openly. But change gonna come. This is an end. Bye-bye. We're done.